Vayikra Chapter 22. Yehovah said to Moshe, "Tell Aharon and his sons to separate themselves from the holy things of the people of Israel, which they set apart as holy for me, so that they will not profane my holy name. I am Yehovah. Tell them, any descendant of yours through all your generations who approaches the holy things that the people of Israel consecrate to Yehovah and is unclean will be cut off from before me. I am Yehovah. Any descendant of Aharon with zarat or a discharge is not to eat the holy things until he is clean. Anyone who has touched a person made unclean by a dead body, or who has had a seminal emission, or who has touched a reptile or insect that can make him unclean, or a man who is unclean for any reason and who can transmit to him his uncleanness, the person who touches any of these will be unclean until evening, and is not to eat the holy things unless he bathes his body in water. After sunset he will be clean, and afterwards he may eat the holy things, because they are his food. But he is not to eat anything that dies naturally or is torn to death by wild animals, and thereby make himself unclean. I am Yehovah. The Kohanim must observe this charge of mine. Otherwise, if they profane it, they will bear the consequences of their sin for doing so and die in it. I am Yehovah, who makes them holy. No one who is not a Kohen may eat anything holy, nor may a tenant or employee of a Kohen eat anything holy. But if a Kohen acquires a slave, either through purchase or through his being born in his household, he may share his food. If the daughter of a Kohen is married to a man who is not a Kohen, she is not to have a share of the food set aside from the holy things. But if the daughter of a Kohen is a widow or divorcee and has no child, and she is sent back to her father's house as when she was young, she may share in her father's food, but no one not a Kohen is to share in it. If a person eats holy food by mistake, he must add 1/5 to it and give the holy food to the Kohen. They are not to profane the holy things of the people of Israel that they have set apart for Yehovah, and thus cause them to bear guilt, requiring a guilt offering, by eating their holy things, because I am Yehovah, who makes them holy. Yehovah said to Moshe, "Speak to Aharon and his sons and to the entire people of Israel. Tell them, when anyone, whether a member of the house of Israel or a foreigner living in Israel, brings his offering, either in connection with a vow or as a voluntary offering, and brings it to Yehovah as a burnt offering, in order for you to be accepted, you must bring a male without defect from the cattle, the sheep, or the goats. You are not to bring anything with a defect, because it will not be accepted from you. Whoever brings a sacrifice of peace offerings to Yehovah in fulfillment of a vow or as a voluntary offering, whether it come from the herd or from the flock, it must be unblemished and without defect in order to be accepted. If it is blind, injured, mutilated, has an abnormal growth, or has festering or running sores, you are not to offer it to Yehovah or make such an offering by fire on the altar to Yehovah. If a bull or lamb has a limb which is too long or short, you may offer it as a voluntary offering, but for a vow it will not be accepted. An animal with bruised, crushed, torn, or cut genitals you are not to offer to Yehovah. You are not to do these things in your land, and you are not to receive any of these from a foreigner for you to offer as bread for your God, because their deformity is a defect in them. They will not be accepted from you." Yehovah said to Moshe, "When a bull, sheep, or goat is born, it is to stay with its mother for 7 days, but from the 8th day on it may be accepted for an offering made by fire to Yehovah. However, no animal is to be slaughtered together with its young on the same day, neither cow nor ewe. When you offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving to Yehovah, you must do it in a way such that you will be accepted. It must be eaten on the same day it is offered. Leave none of it till morning. I am Yehovah. You are to keep my mitzvot and obey them. I am Yehovah. You are not to profane my holy name. On the contrary, I am to be regarded as holy among the people of Israel. I am Yehovah who makes you holy, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Yehovah.